What is up, everybody, and welcome to another VrChat tutorial. It's finally here. I know it's taken a while, but I arrived for all you guys to watch me teach you things. Isn't it great? Am I a great teacher? Leave a like in the comments, subscribe. I'm not a sellout, I swear. By the end of this video, you'll be able to do things like this. Okay, so, turns out Unity doesn't like working with multiple different versions of itself. And since I'm a member of the 5.6 beta, I had 5.6 installed. And I had to go through this whole rigmarole to get this all back up and running. On the bad side of things, I had lost a couple of previous files. On the good side of things, I'm a smart nugget, and I had saved several prefabs of my avatars. So with this being said, don't upgrade to 5.6 until you're ready. But I'm okay, no worries. I can recreate everything anyways. It's fine. It's all a learning experience. I sort of wanted to start fresh anyways, but aside from this, let us continue on. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and go with the Zero Suit Goose in his base form before the final form. Anyways, okay. So, to kind of give you guys what we're doing here, this is going to be a tutorial based on creating particle effects, adding them to your avatar, and this also will sort of be going over a little bit of animation as well as adding objects to your avatar so that they move with your avatar. Like, for example, attaching them to your bones hierarchy on your hands so that, like, say you have a gun and you can go ahead and move that gun around, things like that. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and start off with particle effects. Particle effects will go over pretty much a lot of this stuff. So we're going to do the basic Unity particle effects. So we're going to go ahead and right-click anywhere in your hierarchy, and we're going to go on down here to particle system. Boom. Well, not UI, particle system. Boom. And boom. There's a particle system. There are random white orbs fluttering about everywhere. Congratulations, you did it. I'm just moving all those to 0. Okie dokie. So there's a couple of things involving the particle system. So the particle system, to be honest with you, I'm going to be flat out honest. I don't know what half of this stuff does. I just know by doing stuff, it does things. I know what it does, but I couldn't explain you how it does it. But anyways, I'm going to show you so that way I better clarify these things. Okay, so the duration, I'm going to go over each one of these individually, try to explain this as best I can. So duration is for how long you want the particle to last. Right now it's set for 5, which I'm assuming is 5 seconds, because usually that goes by the playback time here. Stop. So if right now it's on looping, so it will never stop. Right now the looping right here is checked. It's not going to stop going. When I turn looping off and I simulate it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's done. It's over. That's it. No more food for you. You're done. You're dead. It's done. You can't do it anymore. You get the food. You get the Crispies. You get out. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, 5 seconds. This can be handy for a couple of things, various things. You want an explosion that dissolves, things like that. Or with me, you want this like giant orb that just blows off. If you guys have seen me in game, whenever I like transform into one of my weird forms or whatever. Anyways, so there's that. So we're gonna go ahead and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and create. Well, we're gonna go ahead and set this back to looping. We're gonna simulate it. And pre-warm, don't actually know what this does. Start delay. This basically delays the starting time. So say if you want your avatar to spawn into VrChat, but you want the particles to wait a bit. So say you want you spawn in, but you want these to take about 2 seconds before they start bubbling everywhere. So we'll set it to 2, and then stop, and then simulate. 1, 2, boop, there they are. there you go. This can be handy for like adding multiple different particles. I like to do like a RAID bot kind of a thing. So I like to have like multiple different particles on it at once that slowly expand as it goes on, so and on and on. So that way like the beat is just like boom, boom, boom. Oh my gosh, he's got particles going everywhere. All right, so there's that. So we have the start delay of 2. I'm going to set that back to 0 so that way it just keeps on looping. Start lifetime. This is kind of a bit of a mystery. To my knowledge, it basically is how long it goes out to. So right now I set it to 1. If I set it to 0.5, it only goes out about that far. So it's kind of basically like how far it's going to go out until it ceases its life or something like that. Start speed. This is basically just how fast it goes. The higher the number, the higher up it's going to go, or the quicker it's going to get out of there or whatever. The lower the number, the less it's going to go up, is from what I've figured out. So it kind of goes down there. Things like that. You'll kind of figure out stuff as you experiment and things like that. Start size, yeah, more at once. And another thing you can do is kind of adjust your scale on these things. So what I like to do sometimes is like I like to use like a small scale or something like that. And then like have it like drag across the avatar or something along those lines. So anyways, a lot of particle system is through experimentation. I'm not really going to go all of it because I'll let you guys go ahead and kind of fiddle-faddle with a couple of things. You got your start color here. You can click on that and change the color. It's relatively self-explanatory regarding the basics of particles. Now, another thing you'll probably want to go ahead and point out. Well, a couple of things I want to go ahead and point out. For one, the max particles is set to 1,000. The higher the particle count, the more polygons it's going to take up whenever uploading it to VrChat. I'm going to need to log in here in a little bit. Let me go ahead and log in real quick. Whoop, pause the recording. Okay, so right now, this avatar has about 15K in the polygon department. I'm going to go ahead and briefly go over adding this polygon to the arm, just so that way we can increase the polygon count. So I'm going to add it to his hand. So I'm going to go over here to our hierarchy. I'm going to go over here to armature. I'm going to open her up. We're going to go all the way down until we see our hand bone. That's our foot. We don't want to go with the foot. We want to go with the spine. Spine, spine, spine. This is the... What hand is this? Right shoulder, right arm. Nope, it's left. Okay, mirrors, everybody. Whoop-de-doo. Left arm, left forearm, left hand. There it is. And now I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Take the particle system, drag and drop it in the hand. And then, boom, it gets bigger. So you might want to go ahead and do some adjusting here. This tends to happen whenever you add certain particle systems to objects, such as the hand and stuff like that. So we can go ahead and just adjust the scale. I think it was all back at 0.5. So we just bring it right back to 0.5. Anyways, so now that we've added it, we're going to go over here to VrChat, and it's increased our polygon count by about 500 polygons. So let's decrease the particles. All we need to, you're really only going to need about 100 or maybe even less whenever it comes to this stuff. Unless you want like a ton of particles floating around going all over the place, in which case you might upset the hosts. So I highly suggest against doing anything of that nature. But you can, although I suggest against, you may get banned. But anyway, so I suggest at least using 100 because look at this. It's only increased it by about 50 or 100. Let's go back to 0 and find out how much it increased it. Oh, so literally each part of one particle is one polygon. I didn't know that. Yeah, so it's literally only increased the polygon count by 100. So one particle represents a polygon, apparently. I didn't know that, actually. So you learn as learning, everybody. We're both learning. Alrighty, so anyways, another important thing I wanted to go about is the shape. So cone shape is more orientated for, say, it's a cone going outward. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this particle system. Boop. We're going to create a new one. We're going to create a brand new default particle system. Boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. Change it back to 0 for everything. Okay, so a cone shape. The cone shape is basically, oh, there it is. That's what I was looking for. So cone shape, we have a cone going up here. Now if we change the shape to more of a sphere, it's a sphere. So it's going around in a circle, kind of in a sphere formation. We can go, of course, go ahead and basically stop it so it's not, you know, spinning around in circles constantly like that through experimentation, things like that. I trust you guys can kind of figure some of this stuff out with the particle system, because a lot of it is just kind of learning, and I feel like a lot of it would take a lot of time to kind of just go over the entirety of it. But, you know, basically gravity modifier modifies the gravity. Just kind of learn a little bit. One thing I do want to point out, though, that I wasn't able to learn through fiddling, is the simulation space. So if I were to set the simulation space on this to local, and then attach it to my avatar, it'll move with the movement of my avatar. But as you can see, it's keeping the exact same shape with the movement of the avatar. So if the particle system is being simulated and the avatar is moving, it's going to basically stay the exact same with the movement. So I kind of like to have it look like the particles are moving adjacent to the avatar or something like that. Say like if I were to blow in the wind or something like that. Never mind, that's a horrible analogy. We're going to forget that. Let me just show you. So we're going to set our simulation space to world. So now if I move the avatar, it moves away from the avatar there. So basically moving this, come on, what are you doing? Basically, you'll see it in game. It's not really something I can provide you an example with directly, I guess, unfortunately. But basically what it does is it trails with the avatar. So it's still attached to the avatar, so it trails with it. So the particles will kind of follow behind you as you die, as they die out, but they'll continue to spawn right on you. So it'll basically be like a trailing sort of effect. A better example of this is some of these magical particles that you can grab. Particle ingredient pack. So we're going to go over here to our asset star just so I can show you these guys, because these are really nice. Search particles. These are free. It's a free asset. And it is a particle pack. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Come on. I'm going to pause this. Wait. I think this is it. Let me double check. Double check. You guys can skip ahead if you like. This is going to take maybe like 3. Yes, this is it. This is it. I recognize it completely. I don't need to look it over. This is it. It's going to prepare the package anyways. No, it didn't. It canceled it. I know this is it. I'm positive. 100%. This is the particle ingredient pack that you want to get. Particle System by Gaff. It works with Unity 5.3, and I believe it works for the newer versions, but the current version VrChat uses is 5.3 at this particular time. And this is my favorite particle pack so far, simply because of all the options it gives you. So, particle ingredients, it gives you a lot of stuff. It gives you a lot. Are they still in here? Did they leave? Because I think they left. Hold on, I'm pausing the video real quick. Okay, so I had to re-import them because of previous Unity issues. But anyways, we got them in. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and open up our particle ingredients from our particle pack. This comes with a lot of stuff, but I mainly like the ingredients. So the ingredients are basically various different ingredients that you can add. So we got particle ingredient, boop. We got battle gear, breath, cattle type, core type, crystal type, erupt, explosion, field, fireworks, lights. You can experiment with this however you like. But my favorite is unite. And then last play, once play basically means it's only going to last one time. Last play means like it lasts forever. I believe this one is the one I like. No, it's not. It is one of these. No, these are not the ones that I like. The one I like is... Which one is it? Which one? Did I just click on unite type as core type? Jeez Louise, Mr. Doublegoose, what is wrong with you? Gotta get a go. Okay, there it is. This is one of my favorites. Mainly just because this thing does all kinds of like psychedelic stuff that just looks awesome. Alright, so an example of what I was talking about earlier with basically it trailing. So if I set the type to world, watch what happens. It trails after it. There's just kind of a trailing effect going on. Now, if I set the scale really, really small on this, I like to use these for like like orbs or something like that around the avatar, or just kind of rave lights and stuff like that are really neat. So we've set our speed to 1. Look at this. Whoa, you could also use this for like a Kamehameha wave or something like that if you attached it to the avatar. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and show you guys some animation effects you can do with these particle effects here. So we're going to go ahead and delete this particle system that I added that I don't want. Bloop, get rid of it. We're going to add this awesome particle effect to the avatar, and we're going to add it to his hand, his left hand specifically. So let me move it up to his hand here. It's in his hand. We're going to go ahead and grab this, and we're going to go ahead and put it right on his hand. Bloop! His left hand. It's in his left hand now. Look, it's huge. Let's shrink it a little bit. I want it to be kind of large-ish. Ooh, Reviosaw. Okay, so there it is. That's fine. I'm not going to shrink it down very much more. I want it to be a big old ball. We're going to go and change the color to a Kamehameha blue. And another cool thing about this is the way the colors work on these particles. So if I go over here to like the white, it kind of gives it, if it's all white, and it kind of gives it like a blue tint. And if I make it all blue, it's just so pretty. So anyways, we got that. So we're going to animate this. We're going to go over some animations in brief. Hopefully brief. We'll see what happens. See if my briefs don't explode. Okay. So we've added the particle effect. So now we want to animate it. So we're going to go over to our animation tab. If you don't already have this tab, which you should. Do you have this tab by default? You should have this tab by default. I believe it's usually up here. I've added it down here. If you don't have it for any reason, I believe you go over here to... Oh my gosh. Create. Animation. There it is. If you don't have that tab, go over the assets, go to create, go to animation, and then just create a new one here. But this is a lot easier version. You go over here to this tab, animation down here. You go over to, you click on the dang animation right there. You go ahead and click on create, boom, boom. There it is. You give your animation your name. We call it Jab Joob Bloop. And then there it is. But guess what? We've broken our avatar. We've broken our avatar. Oh my goodness, how could this have happened? It's all looks like he's doing some sort of a praying mantis technique. Well, by George, that's because you added the animation file while it was in the hierarchy of the avatar. Don't ever create an animation when it's in the hierarchy of an avatar, because it will break the avatar. Well, guess what we can do? We can just get rid of this, just take it out of the avatar, just some Control-Z's. Oh, Control-Z's, 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 Control-Z's. Guess what? The avatar's broken. Control-Z doesn't fix it. So now you have to reload your file that I didn't save before going over this portion. Give me one moment! And he's back! Zero Suit Goose is back as normal, and he's fixed because we had to put him back in because we screwed up the avatar by adding a particle system animation while it was in the avatar. So here's what you really want to do. So we're going to go back to our particle ingredients. We're going to go back to the particle ingredients again. We're going to go back to field. It's not the right one. We're going to go back to core type last. We're going to throw not this one on it, but that one on it. 0, 0, 0. Boop. Badoop. Not going to worry too much about animating the, well, yeah, we'll put the scale 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Start speed 1. Ta-da! There it is. There it is, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. 100, because we don't need a billion particles on this, and now I'm just distracting myself. Stop! decrease the radius of the sphere. Okay, anyways, just distracting myself at this point. Okay, so we are going, what you want to do is you want to create the animation on the particle or the effect, the object that you want to add the animation to before it's associated with the avatar. So now we create it. We're going to save it over Jabajube. Save. Yes, I want to replace it. Boop, there it is. And now we can attach it to the avatar's hand, as I had it before, going back down to the left shoulder, left arm, left forearm, left hand. There it is. Pop it in to the hand, not the forearm, and there we go. Now it's on the hand. And now it doesn't break the avatar, so we are good to go. And we can go ahead and freely animate this. Why does the services keep going on? Okay. So now let's add an animation. So let's go ahead and start the record button here. Bloop. Now it shows up here that we are recording right here. So now everything you do to this particular object, it will set up an animation point on it. So I want to set the base of this area to this particular position. So I'm basically just going to go ahead and move it just a little bit. Boop. And now it's set the base to right there. That's the starting point of our animation. So now we want to go ahead and do something simple. We're going to go ahead and make this object fly from this location in that direction. Now, if your hand is to move while this object is in animation mode, it's going to, if it's set to, the simulation space is set to world, it's going to do some funky stuff. It's probably not going to follow the exact hand animation, so you'll probably need to do a little bit of experimentation. But anyways, the basics. We just want this avatar, this object to fly that direction. That's all we want it to do. We can have him do it while he's in T-pose. That's fine. We just want it to go in that direction over there. So we're going to go ahead and animate this. So we're going to go ahead and go out several samples. I don't know if this is frames. I don't know if this is seconds. But we're going to go out to, I'm guessing that's 1 minute. And I'm going to go ahead and drag this so it goes, woo! And so what that told the animation is that I want it to go from this keyframe, once it hits this minute mark, it's going to have gone all the way over there. So I'm going to simulate it by clicking on here. Let's go. I'm just going to click on play. Boop. Oh, come on! Click, and what is it? Did it break the thing? Stop. Click on this. Go back to where you came from, knave. Okay, simulate. And now we'll do it. Poop. Excellent. Good, there we go. It's flying in that direction. So now let's increase the samples. Let's slow it down a little bit. Slow it down a little bit more. 200. That speeds it up. I'm sorry. I meant to slow it down to 1. So now it's like, small little spirit bomb going in that direction. Now it's like a small Kamehameha wave. And now, oh my gosh, it's not stopping. Whoa! Whoa! You go too fast. Okay. So you get the relative idea. Kind of just fiddle-faddle around with that, my dear friends. Just fiddle-faddle. Fiddle-faddle and foodle-foodle. And you'll figure it out. Another thing I want to go ahead and go over till while we're looking at this thingy-dingy. Let's bring it back to 60. So, say you want to animate an object flying in a specific direction, but you want, once it reaches that direction, you don't want it to loop. It constantly loops. That's the thing about these animations. So once it reaches the end, it's going to loop back to the beginning. So you say you want it to stay right there. So what I do, and I'm pretty sure there's probably a better way to do this, I haven't come across it yet, so if you know, let me know in the comments below. And anyways, what I do is I go ahead and add an event. This little diddly-doo right here is an event. And I go ahead and add it way out here, so we can go ahead and go farther in our timeline by just scrolling down on mouse wheel. We're just going out, and we are going to go out to like an hour, 60. There we go. Boop. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add an event there. But I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm just going to add it. That's all I'm going to do. So now, if we press play, the object stays in that direction. So if we stop, go back to the beginning, stop, go back to the beginning. Oh, there goes gravity. There we go. Stop. Okay. Play the animation. Back from the beginning, you stupid dang thing. Okay, there we go. simulate, thank you, play the animation. And there it goes. And I added another keyframe, so it kind of went back a little bit. But anyways, it's staying in that general direction there. It's not moving anywhere. Eventually it will loop once it reaches the 60 there. You can put this out farther if you want to. Generally, I put it out so far that it's a general area that, you know, it's probably not going to reach unless I'm in that particular avatar for literally an hour. Most people who put animations on their avatar probably only use that avatar for whenever they're done showing off or whatever, and then they'll switch back to another avatar or something like that that has like idling animations and things related to that. So basically there's that. If you want to kind of move it around so it kind of goes into maybe a circular motion or something like that, you can go ahead and boom, it adds a keyframe there, adds a keyframe there, adds a keyframe there, adds a keyframe there, adds a keyframe there. So basically I'm just telling it to kind of do all kinds of crazy stuff. So if we go back to our beginning of our timeline, we press play, it goes woo, okay, whatever, it does the thing. So yeah, particle systems and animation takes time. It's a bit of a learning curve. These are definitely the basics of getting you started. And a lot of this stuff is mainly just experimentation. I'll be honest, like I've said before, I don't even know what a lot of this stuff does. I just know when I do stuff, it happens, and I have a relative idea of what I'm doing, but you just gotta experiment, everybody. You just gotta experiment. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. I hope I didn't kind of just baffle about or whatever and make absolutely little to no sense whatsoever. Still kind of learning a little bit here and there with Unity, and once I've learned more, I'll be happy to teach you guys in probably another tutorial video. But for now, this basically went over, we've done so far, we figured out how to add objects to avatars in the hierarchy. If you instead of like I did, I added a particle effect to the hand, but if you wanted to add a gun to the hand and just a physical object instead of like a moving object or something like that, you can do that, in which case the object will move with your hand. It's that simple. You just add it to the hierarchy. In this particular case, what we were doing is we were adding specific particle effects so that way they move with the hands. If I say wanted to make this particular asset, I'm going to go ahead and delete all these keyframes. I'm going to delete this animation altogether. If I wanted to make this particle move with my hand so that way it moves around, all I would need to do is put it in the hands hierarchy. That's it. One thing I want to let you know, just a heads up, simulation space being set to world on the hand, that can cause issues. So you want to leave that at local. Unfortunately, you can't have, it won't trail when it's set to local, so it'll basically be like this when it's moving with your hand. But at the moment, that's all you can really do. If you make it to world and set it to your hands, what if for some reason it'll just default to your thighs and it won't move. But you can see it simulate the stuff within a mirror, but not on your avatar itself. I think it's either just has something to do with Unity, being on a local object, being in a world environment, or something of that nature. I don't know for sure, but at this particular time, unless you guys know of something better, let me know. But you can't really have like a bunch of rave light particles, unfortunately, that trail around. Or you can't really just like, oh, I'm an avatar and I have fire bending techniques. Oh, you can't really necessarily do it to that particular effect. As far as I know. There might be I know there's various different trail renders you can use. I don't have experience with those as of yet, but they seem relatively simple, and I'm sure you guys could figure it out by just adding trailer renderers to your avatar, things like that. Anyways, if there's anything I did not go over in detail, let me know. I hope my randomness didn't confuse you guys too horribly much, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial whenever I do release it. See you guys later.